The shadow of First Landing Trail. It was a crisp autumn evening when Emily and her friends decided to explore the First Landing State Park Trail in Virginia Beach. The trail was steeped in history, known as the place where English settlers first landed in 1607. Legends swirled about strange occurrences in the woods, tales of settlers lost to time, and whispers of shadowy figures that wandered the trees. Excited for a spooky adventure, the group set out just before sunset, the golden light filtering through the towering pines. They laughed and joked as they followed the sandy paths, but as the light faded, an uneasy quiet settled over the forest. The wind seemed to carry faint whispers, words they couldn't quite make out. "Did you hear that?" Emily asked, stopping in her tracks. "Hear what?" her friend Jake replied, scanning the darkening woods. "It sounded like footsteps behind us." The group fell silent, straining to listen. The crunch of leaves echoed faintly, but when they turned, the trail was empty. They pressed on, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. But the woods seemed alive, the trees bending closer, their branches forming twisted shapes. The whispers grew louder, and Emily thought she heard her name. "Emily." She froze. "Who said that?" "No one," Sarah, her best friend, replied, her voice trembling. But Emily wasn't convinced. She felt a chill run down her spine as a dark shape darted between the trees. "Let's just get out of here," Jake said, his voice tight with fear. The group quickened their pace, but the trail seemed to stretch endlessly. The familiar markers they'd passed earlier were gone, replaced by strange carvings etched into the trees, symbols that looked ancient and foreboding. "These weren't here before," Sarah whispered. As panic set in, they heard it, a low, guttural growl coming from the woods. A pair of glowing eyes appeared in the darkness, followed by a shadowy figure that seemed to float rather than walk. "Run!" Jake screamed. They bolted, adrenaline pumping, but the figure was relentless, its eerie whispers surrounding them. Emily glanced back and saw it clearly, a humanoid form, its face hollow, its eyes like black voids. Suddenly, the trail opened into a clearing, and they stumbled upon an old, crumbling altar surrounded by skeletal remains. The air was thick with the stench of decay. "Where are we?" Sarah cried. Before they could react, the shadowy figure emerged from the trees, its long, skeletal fingers reaching toward them. Emily felt an icy grip on her arm and screamed as everything went black. When she woke, she was alone, lying on the edge of the trail as the morning sun pierced through the trees. Her friends were gone, their belongings scattered around her. Authorities later searched the area but found no trace of Jake or Sarah. Emily never returned to First Landing Trail, but she often dreams of the shadowy figure and her friends' terrified faces. Local legends say the woods claim those who disturbed the spirits of the first settlers, and some believe the altar is a gateway to another realm. To this day, hikers report hearing whispers and seeing shadows that vanish when approached. But no one dares to stay after dark.